Motivation, that one word you hear when you need to do something really important.
Yes! Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on! Ah! Yes!
To me, I always feel really motivated when I watch a sports movie, like the main dude training, overcoming obstacles. Whenever I watch Creed and I start seeing Michael B. Jordan, it really inspires me to start doing press-ups, getting shredded. Obviously, this is not ideal if I'm sat on the sofa with some crisps or some junk food. The question you probably ask every day of your life is probably easy to guess. Why is motivation such a fleeting thing? Why does it come and go at the worst of times? Why do we actively avoid the things that we know will be well and truly good for us? Well, to find the answer, we need to go back in time. Stay to the end of this video for a really useful tip for how you can stay motivated. A couple of years ago, I was working in a sales role and I was really gunning for a promotion. I really wanted this so bad. But the reality was, my figures weren't that great. They were kind of bang average. And then I decided enough was enough. So what I started to do on my commute, which was like a 40-minute drive, sometimes on the motorway, I would play Tony Robbins motivational talks. And to anyone that hasn't heard of Tony Robbins, he's this mad, intoxicatingly crazy bundle of energy.
Eye on you! I count to 3. Let's clap together on 3. Go crazy. 1.
There is nothing that comes close to Tony Robbins. He's second to none. Everyone is following in his footsteps. I've seen people come close to replicating his energy on stage when he's doing these self-development talks, but the reality is no one matches Tony. When I started listening to him every single morning, I felt like I had this extra bounce in my step. I felt that when I walked into the office, I had this extra energy, and in the morning meetings, they felt so much more important. The power of positive motivational talks every single morning had made me feel like a completely different person. And what started happening was that I was taking this mentality into my selling day, and I was having a better relationship with customers and clients because I had this positive frame of mind. And then as a result, my figures started going up, and it was crazy, the change that had happened in such a short space of time. It sounds kind of weird, but it sounds like the universe was actually going to give me one big break. It was actually going to deliver me this promotion. But this didn't last forever. So I kept listening to these self-development seminars and talks by Tony. Even if I had listened to him in the morning, I had those high energy talks just, blasting in my eardrums. They weren't having an effect. They weren't doing anything for me. So before long, my enthusiasm dropped, so did my sales figures, and it just seemed like I was actually back where I was before, and my promotion was just out of reach once again. And I remember just being sat in my car, just being like, who am I kidding? Like listening to this guy. So what happened was I just stopped listening to him altogether because I wasn't feeling motivated. I didn't feel like I could take on the world. It wasn't all bad news though. Something that I would have been privileged to learn at the time is that the process matters. There's 2 types of motivation. There's extrinsic and there's intrinsic. Extrinsic has been stated as our drive to engage in an activity to gain rewards or avoid punishments. Extrinsic motivators can include paying rent, becoming physically in shape or attractive, earning more money. Extrinsic implies that there's something to be noticed, that there is something tangible or physical that comes from you doing the thing that you're motivated to do. In short, they're things that are externally validated by a lot of people. Now, intrinsic is doing something more or less just because you enjoy it. There's no hierarchy that ranks of how successful we are or good at the thing. We're just doing it because there's some enjoyment to be had. There's a natural ease to doing things when you're intrinsically motivated. You kind of enjoy it at the end of the day. Certain things like this can apply to community work or elements that factor into your personal growth. The progress isn't something that you see on a spreadsheet, but it's something that you embody over time. There's quite a lot of debate which one is more valuable. I think it depends on the situation, but to me, I think it becomes a lot easier to do something if you feel internally motivated to do it, rather than feeling like you have to prove yourself or some idea of how successful you are. Why I think extrinsic motivation is a little bit difficult is because you have to see the goal. There has to be something definite set in stone. For me, it was actually getting the promotion for this sales job. Perhaps I should have taken in consideration the values and the principles of someone that would have been suitable for that job promotion. Figure out how that person thinks, how the person acts in a variety of different situations. And on the side note, it's actually been found that people that tend to obsess less about money, about the physical things, tend to be more successful and wealthy as a result. This is because they're less motivated by things such as status, fame, materialistic wealth. And I think this is because after a while, once you get those things, the appeal of it actually wears off and then you're just back to where you were before. Being intrinsically motivated carries weight because you feel fulfilled from what you're doing, and it gets to the point that you actually enjoy it because of how it makes you feel. And a really quick tip, if you're feeling like you're losing motivation, according to Chris Bailey of the book Hyperfocus, we should all work in 90-minute cycles. Now, if you're probably asking, why do we work in 90-minute cycles? Well, we rest in 90-minute cycles. Our body, awake or asleep, tends to work in 90-minute cycles. When we're asleep, we have REM sleep, which is the 90-minute cycles, which if done successfully, that is how you actually feel fully rested. So taking breaks every 90 minutes should actually help you move through the peaks and valleys of your work day. And this applies to many high-performance individuals across a range of industries. I think the reason why I stopped listening to Tony, at least for the time being, is because I was bored. I was bored with how I was using things that were externally out of my control to help motivate me. In reality, I should have just been learning to enjoy the process. After doing the same thing day after day continually, I realized that there needs to be something greater. There needs to be a deeper purpose to what I was doing. But by recognizing what motivators are influencing us at any given moment can help inform us what steps we should be taking moving forward. Anyway guys, that is it. If you like this, comment, like and subscribe, and I'm sure I'll see you in the next video. Onwards and upwards guys. Take care.